Good night, ladies and gentlemen, or good morning or afternoon or whenever you may be listening to this, if it is a recording. But this is the webinar of 5 things to have your developer change on your site as soon as humanly possible. And this is serious, actually. I like to be a little silly. I like to do some funny stuff while I do these because it's a pretty boring, dry topic. But this stuff is really, really important, and I'm going to show you guys why. So this webinar specifically is for chiropractors looking to grow their practice using the internet, CAs looking to help their chiropractor bring in new business, associates looking to build their own business inside of the doc's practice, or digital marketers looking to learn how to help their chiropractors better. So this is going to be a very information-dense webinar. I'm not going to waste a lot of time bloviating about stories about when I was 6 years old and how that brought me to this great realization on the mountaintop. And there's not going to be any of that. These are going to be tactical things that you can write into an email and send to your developer at the end of this that's really going to help you to better understand what's wrong with your site, how you can fix it, and how you're going to be able to really use it to actually get more patients. Okay, so these things are going to be like how to recognize, fix, or delegate repairs for issues to your website, how to use your online presence to generate patients on demand, and if you're ready to put in the work, this really can work for you too. So let's see. Some other things we're going to cover here are how to stop pushing discounts or price-based strategies to drive patients in. Because I know that a lot of chiropractors, especially when they have websites that they seem to have spent some more time on, they're really trying to figure this digital marketing thing out. They'll have the $99 3 adjustment special right on the front page, or, your chiropractic screening is free, stuff like that. And I don't think that that's the way to get new patients. It does increase new patient volume, there's no question. But recidivism isn't that good. And so it's important to figure out how to create a true offer. And I'm going to cover that as well. I'm going to teach you how to get out of lunch and learns, networking events, and start actually using your expertise as your main marketing driver, and not just your ability to sell stuff. So this is basically everything you're going to need to know to get real patients in the door, and using the internet, using predictable, repeatable systems instead of guesswork, failure, and constant course correction, which, nobody likes that. So here's some house rules for today's webinar. This is not a get-rich-quick, really cool way to make $10,000 in your practice next month type of thing. It's not a do nothing but click a button and make money. It's not a magic Facebook ad strategy or anything like that. You have to be a true business person and willing to work at this process to see real results. And this is where a lot of people stumble when they see digital marketing as a whole. And what I mean by that is, some of my clients that I've worked with, they hailed from the age when you called up the guy from the Yellow Pages and you paid him $700 and patients came in your door. And that was the end of the conversation. Maybe you worked on the ad piece with them because you had some ideas. Maybe you did a few other things, but it was pretty much just kind of a click, boom, let's go. And if you want to see this stuff work in the modern day, it's a little bit different, because you really have to be crafting a full strategy around your practice, or else it's not going to work. So these results aren't always typical either, is important to remember, because you have to work hard at this, right? I work with clients all the time and build them sites, and those sites are excellent. And we're always very proud of them as a team. But to get true patients in the door and to work on these other things that I'm going to show you, we can get them in the door, we can get you real cash, right? As long as you can bring them in and do the rest of the work. But that doesn't mean that it's always going to work out for you. So let's see. I'm wondering, let's see. You know, I think, folks, that we are looking at the wrong presentation. No, we're okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't sure exactly where we are. All right, so I'm going to skip forward. I have talked too much and I don't like it. Okay, so we're going to start right here. So you guys are stuck in the old model and you haven't moved to the highly leveraged, highly profitable new model. And what we're going to focus on today is really taking a look at exactly how you guys can use the internet to grow your practice. Yeah, I just looked at this stuff and I decided that it's way too long in the tooth for you guys. And I don't feel like we need to talk about all these other little different pieces. Just being honest with you. So this is me, I'm Charles Manuel. I've helped more than 100 small businesses build websites that get them patients. I shouldn't have put patients there. I should have put customers, because those are not just chiropractic websites. But that was really cool, actually. As I was making this slide, I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, I should really put like a little piece about me and what I've done. I was like, wow, I've built about 100 websites now. You know, me and my company now, we've built about 100 websites, and I thought that was really cool. So I started working in digital marketing in 2007, and I started working exclusively with chiropractors in 2017. I specialize in helping chiropractors who are sick of talking to digital marketers say, no thanks, we have that taken care of. And for any of you guys who, you know, get friended by digital marketers all the time and all that other stuff, you probably see their little tagline on their Facebook profile, whatever. And it's always like, I bring 30 patients in every single day. And that's not what you guys care about, I don't think. I think what you really care about, if you're staring a digital marketer in the face, is that you don't have to talk to another one. And so what I try to do is, even if you don't work with me, you don't do my paid stuff, as I call it, have us build you a website, do a marketing funnel, stuff like that, then instead I want you to learn so much from me and the information that I put out that you have it taken care of. You can figure out the web dev, you can figure out how to build the funnel yourself, and the tips that I give you help you pull it all together and really start to make money. So that's what that means to me. I just thought I'd talk about that for a minute. So what is this new model? Okay, there are 5 major changes that need to happen in your online presence if you want to break onto the front page of Google. And that's what we're going to cover tonight. Okay, so number 1 is that you must make sure that your website follows Google's page speed rules. Okay, and if you're taking notes or whatever, this is going to be your first page. This is going to be your first major bullet point. What we're going to be talking about here is exactly how you're going to be able to check your website's score from Google. So you see this link here, you guys can actually just copy that down, go ahead and search it right now. Also, a much easier way to get to this, and this is actually how I do it pretty much every time, is go to google.com and type into the search bar Google Page Speed Insights, literally the title of this slide, and that'll just pop it up as the first record on Google, and then you can go ahead and go there. But what this does is it's a tool developed by Google to help developers make a site that loads really well. Okay? And this isn't just like on Google's search platform. Okay? This is in general, right? And the reason why Google makes this is because it behooves them to show fast websites to their users, right? If you go to a website and it takes 25 seconds to load, you're not going to that website. So if you're using Google as your search engine and it keeps giving you these websites that take 20, 30 seconds to load, you're going to Bing, right? And so Google is very, very, very scrutinous on how fast websites load so that they can actually rank on the front page. If you have a slow loading website, it is buried in Google, okay? And so what this tool will do is it will show you the different parts of your site that make it slow, okay? And so it obviously just looks like this if you guys navigated there now. Why are you navigating places? This is a webinar, you're supposed to focus. See, I caught you all. Since you caught me, now you have to get in a strategy session with me later. So this is just where you're going to type in your web page URL. And then all you have to do is take the information that comes up below here and send it to your developer. Okay? And if you have a developer worth their salt, they'll be able to go through these pieces and fix them for you and make your site load fast. And if your site loads fast, then you actually are following the rules for the game so that you can get on the front page. Because I think this year is the first time I've seen it really more than any other. But I've spoken to, probably 4 or 5 chiropractors this year at least who had a beautiful website, right? Looked gorgeous, had that really nice modern look with the big menu bars, looked great on a cell phone, had a ton of excellent content, really great original pictures, not a bunch of stock photos, good offers, great copy, all the pieces of a really beautiful website. And the page speed was too low. And because the page speed was so low, they were just stuck on the second page, and just stuck there. And it was really a bummer. And I said, well, let's just get your page speed up, right? So we get their page speed up right to the front page. And that's really how easy it can be, guys. And so I really implore you to hang in there and watch the rest of this webinar, because I'll show you the other pieces to really get you to dominate that front page. So here's another piece I just mentioned. You must have original, one-of-a-kind, relevant stuff, okay? And I put content in parentheses because I feel like it's such a buzzword now that people use it the wrong way. Like taking a picture of your lunch isn't really content, okay? Making a webinar about SEO, that's content. And so it's important when you think of this stuff to think of it as stuff, as something that, you would share with your mom over lunch and be like, hey, look at this, I'm pretty proud of it. It's a 15-minute video on, how improper curvature of the spine can exacerbate migraines. I don't know if that's really a thing. I'm not a chiropractor and definitely don't pretend to be. But you see what I'm saying? You can utilize your knowledge to make interesting content. And so, something to think about is when Apple was failing and had 30 days worth of cash left in the bank, Steve Jobs came back to rescue it, and the first thing he did was axe 80% of the product line and returned Apple back to its core business, okay? And this is another thing I see all the time on websites. Are you offering tons of different things on your websites? From eStim to rock tape to, different acupuncturists and all these different items. You can't do that because great companies focus on 1 or 2 core product and services and work on making them the absolute best, okay? And you should do the same thing with your website's content, right? Focus on your chiropractic care, and even more specifically, focus on the type of chiropractic care that you want to do the most of, right? Because you might not have a super specified tract yet. If you do, obviously use that. But choose that subset of chiropractic and make your website about that. You want to go narrow and deep rather than broad. And it's one of the hardest things to understand in marketing, but a great way to think of it is, if you go into a room with 10,000 people and you try and get them all interested in chiropractic, it's not going to work, right? You don't have the time. Even if you had a great big speaker system, what are you going to do? Get 3 or 4? If you really yell about it and jump around and everything else. But if you go up on stage, even without a microphone in front of 10,000 people, and tell a passionate story about why you got into chiropractic and how you've been able to help people, you can probably get 10 or 15 folks without a lot of hooting and hollering. Probably a lot more, because that'll pull at the heartstrings. And that's how you kind of have to think of digital marketing as well. You want to talk to that one ideal patient, not everybody. Okay, so here's actually a little snippet piece from one of my clients' websites, and he does very well for SEO. He's been on the front page in a major city now for about 18 months, and he has these little snippets of content that he wrote about a bunch of different ailments that someone can have that chiropractic can help with. And this has been very, very powerful in driving searches to his site. And you see there's a call to action at the bottom with his phone number, and of course a short explanation of how chiropractic can help, alleviate some symptoms of asthma. And so this is the type of stuff that you guys can think about, right? And I chose this one specifically because you see how it still looks very professional. It still looks like a really useful piece of a practice website. It doesn't break that doctor-patient barrier too much, but it still is very helpful. It's very useful. And you guys can make stuff like this too, okay? Now, this is number 3, and I think that this is the one that you guys are really going to like, because this isn't just for websites. This isn't just for online stuff. This is for online or in-person meetings. This is for lunch and learns. This is for any new offer that you create and attempt to, quote unquote, pitch to someone else, and however you may do it. So when you're developing your unique offer, right, and after your website's fast, it's got some good content and all this stuff, you gotta start worrying about developing your unique offer that's going to live on the front page of your website, right, in that banner piece, okay? And this offer doesn't necessarily have to be an offer for them to give you money for something, right? $99 for 3 adjustments. We don't want to do those. Instead, what you want to do is think of what got your last new patient in the door, okay? And if you don't know, ask them. Because if you get a feeling for what brings new patients in the door and what really is their why, okay, then you're actually going to have a reason, they're going to have a reason to come and see you. And so offers are not discounts. Offers are showing a person that their specific pain is uniquely cured by your care. That is an offer, okay? It's a collection of words that show someone that their specific pain is uniquely cured by your care. Okay, and remember, for offers, pain does not equal physical pain. It can, right? Like if you're a top performing athlete and you're not able to get that last 5% out of yourself because you're just in too much pain and the chiropractor can help you, that is a legitimate reason to use chiropractic. And the reason why I talked about athletes first is because for, Joe Office Job, right, who has chronic back pain, and they can be the exact same clinical item, right? The athlete with chronic back pain, Joe Office Job with chronic back pain, right? And they can be the exact same thing, right? Maybe they both have anterior pelvic tilt, one from sitting, one from not sitting. I don't know. But anyway, so they both have this exact same problem. And the offer to get those same people into the door, the athlete and the office worker, are massively different, right? With the athlete, right, you want to promise them that the relief of this pain is going to allow them to get that last 5% of performance that'll give them the edge. That's what's going to get them in the door. It could be $40,000, and if they had a bag with $40,000 in it, and you told them that they would be able to perform 5% better, they'd give it to you, because that's what the athlete uniquely cares about. Their unique pain is the fact that they can't work past that pain to get the rest of their performance, right? Now let's look at the office worker. Same back pain. What's his pain, his real pain that's going to stop him that's stopping him from living his best life, right? So with the office worker, more than likely, it's not lack of job performance. It's not anything in the office, right? Even though that's his occupation. It's probably more than likely like he used to go bowling 2 nights a week after work, and now he just can't. And he really misses hanging out with his friends, because he doesn't have an excuse to go there anymore. Or he can't play golf. Or, his love life is severely damaged because he's so exhausted from all the pain he's in, he doesn't want to hang out with his wife. All these different things. And that's the difference. You see, so his pain is how his lifestyle has changed due to his back pain. A little bit of pain, we all know guys who just, whatever, I'll be fine, just kind of trudge through life in tons of pain. So it's not until lifestyle is hindered that you actually have somebody go, okay, I'm done. I want to go see somebody to make this better. And so keep that in mind when you're crafting an offer. Get back into X. Increase your X, because you're able to really craft offers well when you know why that last person came in. And I bet as I'm talking like this, you guys are probably imagining stories that you've heard in your waiting room or in your office where people are like, oh yeah, I really couldn't garden anymore, and so I decided to come in. And you have to keep in mind those little words they say before. I just couldn't garden anymore. Pulling up the roses just wasn't as easy as it used to be. These kind of sound like different things you would see in a marketing effort. So this is what I mean. You'll notice here that what we're doing is just showing the patients, and this is another client site, we're showing the patients that there's several different options where they can go, right? But we're keeping it very simple. We have 4 options here, right? And when I talked with this client first, he had like 15, right? It was very, very difficult to figure out where we were going to go. And so we pared it down into 4 different items, and that was very, very helpful in getting some more traffic into the site. So this is the main piece if you guys are here to talk about SEO, and that is backlinking. Okay, so at this point, all the stuff to do with your website is complete. So if you really just came for the website stuff, get out of here. No, please don't. But anyway, so now that the website's complete, you have great content on it, you have an offer on it, you have very, very good content, that thing I just said. The website loads very fast. You're now in a great position to really start to fight for more contended keywords on Google, right? Because now you're coming to the fight correct, right? No, another website's not just going to be like, get out of here. So this is when you need to start to backlink. I'm going to take a drink. Okay. Backlinking is when you get the opportunity to leave a link to your practice website on another website. Your Facebook business page has a link to your website. This is a backlink. Okay, so it's a fairly simple concept. And other than having a good website, like the other 3 things we just discussed, backlinks are the one most important thing it takes to rank on Google. Okay, and this takes real work. Okay, and this is what I do for clients. But this is the primary place where search engine optimizers spend the majority of their time working. Okay, is figuring this stuff out. How to get other websites to take some of your content and put it on their website in exchange for a link. So here's just a list of some different easy, low-hanging fruit, right, that we use with our clients to quickly and easily get them links. And this isn't Black Hat or anything like this. What these are websites like Yelp.com, right, like YellowPages.com. They're indexing sites. They're linking sites, right? And what they do is they give you a place to put your website and tell a little bit about yourself, okay? And each of these help to increase your site's rank. So we have a list of between 50 and 80 sites, depending upon modality, state, etc., that we use with our clients. And so I didn't put too much about backlinking, and I guess I'll leave this here for a minute. I didn't put too much about backlinking in here because this could take up this entire webinar and 2 more. And so I wanted to leave it open-ended so that you guys could do a little bit more research about it, right? If you want the full list of the backlinks that I use for my clients, I'll happily hand it out to you. Just message me on Facebook after the webinar. So Number 5, know your numbers. Okay, and this, sometimes I put it as number 1. This time I put it as number 5. I like to bookend with this because this is one of the most important pieces of everything here. Because what I mean by know your numbers is you have to make sure that your website's being tracked. Because most marketers that I know, they rely on what I call random acts of marketing or hope marketing. And what I mean by that is they get their clients drips and drabs of business from a lunch and learn or an event or a referral code or an odd email campaign, and they have no way to get it consistently. And they just can't seem to figure out why, right? And it's because for a lot of these guys, they just don't have a system, right? And if you don't have a system to get new patients in, then you don't have a business. And so it's so important to know your numbers, right? And this is the type of stuff that I mean, right? This is what some of us might call a funnel, okay? And what I'm basically showing here is where these patients are coming from, right? So if we're all about SEO here and that's all we use, then the top of our funnel is the Google search, whether it's from a Maps listing or your website. And then what is your click-through rate, right? If you're the number 1 record, it's about 25%. And then you land on the site, okay? So of the folks that land on the site, what's our percentage of people that actually fill out a form and call, right? About 5%. And then out of those, right, how many become new patients? I really hope it's not as low as 20, but, I wanted to put that in there just for sake of argument if you really had a high volume setup here. But this is what I mean, because if you ask, your web guy, your marketers right now to tell you these stats, they probably couldn't give them to you. And what this allows you to do is to be able to truly measure how the website is performing, right? Because you can do 1 through 4, right? We can get your website super fast. We can get everything set up. We can get all this killer content on there that we spend hours and hours and hours on. We can put an offer on there that's been perfectly crafted over hours of just slaving over it and interviewing patients and potential patients and everything else to make sure it's absolutely perfect. We can backlink your site and get it to the front page of Google. And if we don't know how people are responding to that content and that offer and that website, then there's no way to know if you're actually going to make money with it or not. And so once all that work on the front end's done, it just becomes statistics. And you got to have somebody who's willing to do some math for you. And so this is what I mean. You got to know your numbers. And so this is what I do, or what I would have your developer do. Okay, so if you're looking at this and going, oh man, I don't know anything, right? So email your developer and tell him first to set up Google Tag Manager, okay? He should know how to do that. And for you guys that want to do that, once again, message me after the webinar in Facebook, and I will go ahead and send you the link to my SEO cheat sheet, which has step-by-step instructions on how to do this yourself. Second, set up Google Analytics inside of Google Tag Manager. And what Google Analytics does is it is Google's version of Facebook Pixel, basically, if you guys have heard of it. And what it does is it allows you to track how many folks are on your website. And there's a lot of copies of this. If you guys are using a site builder like Wix or Weebly, usually they're built in, right? Even WordPress now, if you install it on certain hosts, it comes with Jetpack already installed and running, so you already get something like this. Google Analytics is a little bit more exact, and I find it's much better for SEO-based stuff because it jives with all of Google's other items. Then set up your Facebook Pixel, once again inside of your Tag Manager, and now track your numbers. Okay, so this doesn't seem like a lot of stuff, but it could take, some of you a little while. Feel free to message me if you're trying to do this. This is not hard. If you're doing this yourself, I'll help you. I'll help walk you through it, and we'll get it done for you. But that's it. I've now pitched the cheat sheet like 55 times and just given it away for free, but do you guys want a full cheat sheet, including the links, guides, and exact tools and processes I use for my clients to get them sites and get them to rank? I'll give you a full list of websites we use to backlink our client sites and the daily workflow you can get used to get ranked on Google for both the Maps 3-packs and your website. You got to sign up for a free strategy session with me below. All right? So what makes a strategy session with me transformational? Well, you get a full overview of your entire online presence from me personally, including search engine optimization, social media accounts, and how you guys can leverage them with no ad spend. Okay? Current paid marketing campaigns, how to make them perform up to 300% better overnight. Honestly, I know like quite a few tricks if you guys are using Facebook ads, Google ads. Definitely a few little tricks I can help you out with there. And you'll get an opportunity to work with me and my team directly if we both feel like it would be a good fit. Double typo, Charlie. Oh, I'll probably tell you some really, really bad jokes as well and point out my own typos in emails. So this is the few criteria that I have for being a good fit with newpatientmarketing.net / Mountain Man Digital. If you're a chiropractor serious about growing your practice 30% plus in the next 6 to 12 months, if you're willing to invest time and money in your practice and to work with me on new processes to increase new patient consults, you're not a whiner, complainer, or procrastinator, and you really like cat memes. Optional incentive pricing for that. But no, the first three are very serious though, because generally we're on a pretty tight schedule for development. I'm super busy going in like 100 different directions. So to get stuff done really well, I find it's best that I work with folks that are pretty serious about this and like to get it done. Past month or so, I've had some people that definitely fit this criteria, and the sites we've been putting out have been just gorgeous, and they're already starting to get results. So I'm really excited for the next round of folks I'll be working for the next month or 3. So find out if we're a good fit. Click the link below, which means give me a call, because Zoom doesn't have links. I thought it did when I made this slide system. But anyway, choose a time slot that works for you, okay? And complete the questionnaire, which is basically just your email and what time works best, and your website as well. And we'll explode your practice. So, only offering the cheat sheet and strategy session for the first 30 people. So you 4, hurry up. And I hope that you guys found some value in this meeting. So if you guys do have any questions, honestly, I had to obviously do the little pitch here for any of you guys that are interested. And if you do want the link, once again, let me go ahead and I'll probably just email it to the 4 of you. So if you do want to set a meeting, you can. Other than that, feel free to message me on Facebook if you have any questions, and I'm always happy to help. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.